The power of friendship is overhated, and you cannot convince me otherwise. Spoilers for ZENSHU, by the way. ZENSHU stars animation director Hirose Natsuko. Natsuko grew up admiring one particular anime movie, A Tale of Perishing. As you'd expect, this is a depressing story with a tragic ending. 9 heroes band together to stop invading hordes from destroying their world. As the movie progresses, they lose over and over, losing members of the 9 every step of the way. At the end of the movie, the protagonist Luke Braveheart gives in to despair. Having lost all of his friends, he turns against the very world he'd sworn to defend, and destroys it. Our protagonist, Natsuko, is fatally wounded by expired Lunchly's drippy cheese.
I like my cheese drippy, bro.
And returns to the Fortnite lobby. By which I mean she's reborn into A Tale of Perishing, and near the end of the movie at that. She enters the narrative at the threshold from which Luke begins to despair and begins to change the story. Unio, Luke's best friend from childhood, was slated to die in an act of self-sacrifice. Natsuko changes this. Calling on her newfound powers, she prevents Unio's demise. In the original film, during Unio's funeral, Luke was supposed to meet and fall in love with Destiny, who would become his lover. Because Unio never had a funeral, this never happens, and eventually Natsuko takes her place as his love interest. They even go on a date to the hot springs. Of course, as these things go, they're interrupted, and Luke has to quickly put on a towel to do battle, and it's there, as he's standing on top of one of Natsuko's constructs, clad in nothing but a towel with his sword in hand, that he cuts down the enemy with his declaration of love for Hirose Natsuko as his battle cry. Keep this in mind, we'll come back to it later. Now, the next life that she saves is Memmeln's. In the background, she had despaired of living, and the next time we see her in the original film is when Luke cuts her down while she's disguised as the Ultimate Void. Natsuko again changes the future by restoring Memmeln's will to live. But you see, the force of the narrative, or maybe you'd call it the author's force of will, begins to put things back to how they played out in the movie. Another soldier falls in an act of self-sacrifice, Destiny gets engaged to Bon Clay again, and the crowds are stirred up against Luke's lover just as they were in the original film. Luke's lover, being Natsuko this time, alongside Unio, are devoured by a void and are presumed deceased. Luke despairs and, just like he did in the original film, he turns against the world and initiates its destruction. Natsuko and Unio break free from the void, but it's too late. Luke has already become the ultimate void. Everything is being destroyed, everything is perishing, the town people, retired warriors, children, everyone. Natsuko decided that the only one who could save the world was the man she loves, Luke Braveheart. She draws countless frames of Luke Braveheart, animating him into battle against his corrupted self, but it's not enough. And soon, even our main cast, who Natsuko had worked so hard to keep alive, Memmeln, Unio, and even the newly revived QJ, begin to pass one by one. Natsuko begins to fade as well. She has one more chance to draw a solution. Shockingly, she draws Luke Braveheart once more, except this time he's different. This Luke is clad in nothing but a towel, just as he was that night when he declared his love for her. As Natsuko begins to fade, she commands the construct to attack with one final battle cry. I love you. And this does it. This saves the world. You might call this a cheap ending, but I disagree. I think it's one of the most poignant endings I've seen in anime as of late, and here's the concept and theme that undergirds it. Love is patient and kind. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends. What you might call a cop-out or power of friendship BS, I call the order of existence, the founding principle of creation. Most closely to us, however, is that it's the deepest motion of the human soul. People pass, world pass, hatred and despair and chaos and destruction all pass away, but love? Love never ends. In a word, love is eternal, for God is love. This has been the 3rd episode of Anime Catechetics, my breakdown of Christian doctrine through the medium of anime. Like the video, subscribe, ring the bell, you know the drill. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a blessed rest of your day.